We're starting with the basic project where all I said was React Native init rn Firebase. Once you've completed that, you'll want to go ahead and install React Native Firebase. I'm going to use yarn, but you can use npm as well. You'll then want to go to console.firebase.google.com, create a new project, and we'll type in a project name here. You can choose your location, change your project ID, none of which we need to do here. Agree to the various terms. Once the project is successfully provisioned, we'll then want to go ahead and actually configure our app. We're doing iOS here, so we'll go ahead and press iOS. We'll choose a project bundle. I'm just going to say com.handlebarlabs.rndemo. You should use whatever is your actual iOS bundle name. Then we'll go ahead and register our app. You can then go ahead and download this Google Services info.plist and make sure you save this file because it is something that we'll need. And with this file saved, we'll want to go ahead and open up Xcode. So we'll say open iOS /rn firebase.xcode proj. We'll then want to take this Google service-info.plist file that we previously saved and drop that into our rn Firebase directory within Xcode. And we'll just go ahead, leave these defaults, press finish, and you can see that we've got this plist file in here. The next thing we want to do is actually go over to our terminal again, and we're going to go into our iOS directory and say pod init. You'll need to make sure you install CocoaPods before you do this. And once you do this, if you go back to your editor, look inside of your iOS directory, you'll see a pod file in here. In this pod file, what we're going to want to do is first add platform:iOS, and then we're going to say 9.0, and this is a constraint that rn Firebase has. You'll then want to actually require the Firebase core pod, and this is how you'll also add all of the extensions on top of Firebase core. That's going to be pod Firebase /core. Then we'll do a tilde greater than 5.3.0, and that's specifying the version. With that, going back to the terminal now, you can say pod install, and this is going to take a while. This is just like npm. Looks like we've got an error. Firebase test is added in here twice. We'll go ahead and delete that in here, and then we can go ahead and try to do pod install once again. Okay, and with that complete, something I like to do, just so I remember, basically when you're using pods, you no longer open up your Xcode project. You open up this XC workspace. So what I like to do is in my package.json, I'm going to add a new script in here, and I'll say iOS. And basically when we do this, I'm just going to say open iOS /rn firebase.xc workspace. And then what you can do here, we'll go ahead and quit Xcode. And then from our package.json, we can go to our terminal window and we can say yarn run iOS. That'll go ahead and actually open up the correct file for us so that everything's working correctly. Now, we're still not quite done. What we're going to do is inside of this rn Firebase project, rn Firebase again, you'll want to open up your app-delegate.m and you'll say #import firebase.h. And then inside of the actual did finish launching with options method, above this RCT root view initialization, what you're going to want to do is say capital FIR app configure, then a semicolon there. Save this. And then finally what we want to do is actually link everything so it all takes care of these errors. What we can do here is go back into our root project. And we can say React Native link React Native Firebase. It'll go ahead, link everything, and if we go back to Xcode, you can see the warnings have been taken care of. Sometimes they linger, but if we go choose our actual application, choose the rn Firebase project, and press run. Okay, and you can see here the project has successfully built. So you've now got React Native Firebase core installed on the application, on the iOS application, and you can go ahead and start installing the different modules and tools from Firebase that you actually want to use to start building out your application.